On the whole, however, archaeological work has unquestionably strengthened the confidence and the reliability of the scriptural record. This is a quote from Little Burrows, a professor of archaeology at Yale University. But archaeological work isn't the only thing that proves the Bible is correct. So today I'm going to prove to you that the Bible is historically correct. What if I told you in 3 years the Miami Heat will win the championship, and it really happened? Let's not kid ourselves. You would be amazed. Well, that's the exact thing that happened to the Bible, but sometimes it'd be over 400 years before the prophecy would take place. Wow. Now I see some of your faces, and you're thinking, yeah, right, and I'm the President of the United States. But let me prove it to you. In Ezekiel 29:15, the Bible reads, Egypt will be the lowest of the kingdoms and will never again exalt itself above the other nations. I will make it so weak that I'll never again rule the nations. Now let's think about this. Ever since ancient Egypt, have you ever heard of Egypt having a golden age? I don't think so. Look at Egypt today. Their first president is trying to become a dictator. Happened by chance? I don't think so. Unfortunately, if I were to go through every prophecy in the Bible, we would probably be here until midnight tomorrow. So I'll just do one more. In Zephaniah 2:13-14a, it declares, And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, leaving Nineveh utterly desolate and dry as a desert. Flocks and herds will lie down there, creatures of every kind. Now look at this picture of Nineveh today. These are the front gates of what used to be the most powerful city in the world. But look at it now. Flocks are literally lying down there. Also, the people in the Bible aren't made up. A lot of them are mentioned in other historical references. I want to point out, too, that of the many people that were mentioned in our history textbook last year, History Live, the Ancient World. Number 1, Nebuchadnezzar. He was the Babylonian king during the time of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Or if you're a fan of VeggieTales, you would know them as Rack, Shack, and Ben. On page 62, in our old textbook, it says, The empire, referring to the Babylonian Empire, most famous king was Nebuchadnezzar, a ruthless military leader. In 2 Kings 24:10, the Bible states, At that time, the officers of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, advanced on Jerusalem and laid siege to it. Those descriptions sound pretty much the same to me. He was a king of Babylon and a military leader. Number 2, Cyrus. On page 124 in the textbook, it reads, Persian King Cyrus ended the Jews' exile. Many Jews returned to Judea, where Cyrus allowed them to rebuild their temple in Jerusalem. Now let's go to the Bible. This is what Cyrus, king of Persia, says. The Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and has appointed me to build a temple for him at Jerusalem in Judah. Every one of his people, you may, the Lord your God be with you, and let him go. That was quoted from 2 Chronicles 36:23. The similarities. He was a king of Persia. He let the Jews go back home. He let them rebuild their temple, and And the difference is none. What a shocker. But seriously, guys, these weren't senile old coots who didn't possess razors that waddled around in dressing gowns. These were real people. But let's go back to Cyrus. He makes me bring up another reason why the Bible is historically correct. Artifacts. One big question was, why on earth would Cyrus let and help the Jews rebuild their temple? Many believed for many years that it didn't happen, but that all changed when this cylinder was found at Babylon at the time of its conquest. On it reports Cyrus's victory and his policy for permitting Babylonian captives to return to their homes and even rebuild their temples. Another artifact was when Hugo Winkler evacuated the Hittite capital. Before that, many believed it to be a fictitious empire, even though it was mentioned 46 times in the Bible. The problem was there was no mention of them outside of the Bible. But now, thanks to Hugo Winkler, the world knows them to be real, and you can even get a doctorate degree at Hittology at the University of Pennsylvania. The last artifact I'll tell you about, and trust me, there's a whole lot more, is the proof of the existence of Pontius Pilate. For the longest time, he was only mentioned in the Bible, but that all changed when this stone slab in the Roman theater was uncovered with the words Pontius Pilate written on it. If I were a judge, I would be calling the case closed. But then again, I'm not a judge. So I guess it all boils down to this. Do you really believe that the Bible is historically correct? And are you willing to do the research to figure it out? I would highly recommend that you go out and figure it out for yourself. You'd be amazed at how unstoppable the Bible truly is.